So a few days ago, I made a video concerning, you have to fall in love with Jesus. That was a heartfelt video, and I know you felt it as well. And then somebody made a comment and said, Presido still preaching the good news. May God continue to strengthen you. Now, this was so heartwarming, and it was so sad as well, in the same way. So this is somebody I know from 15 years ago. We went to different secondary school, and at some point she was president of our fellowship, and then I was president of my fellowship. And one of the reasons why this was very heartwarming is the fact that, let's say 15 years after, this is a testimony that someone would see and say, you are still preaching the gospel. This Jesus still means a whole lot to you. That evening while I was praying, I thought about it for a moment with almost tears in my eyes. I think maybe one or two, just appreciating God that after this number of years, after finding Jesus for this number of years, is still very real to me. It's still the most important part of my life. I tell people that my life means nothing without Jesus, and it's not just for me. It's not just a religious practice. It's the truth of my heart. I genuinely believe it. And while I was thinking about that, I, for a moment, also thought about the people I started this journey with. And by the people I meant the people I was in fellowship with in secondary school. And yeah, sadly enough, some of them, I don't, they've not really, they are not unbelievers, right? They've not lost the faith, but this fervor, this fervency, this desire to put Jesus first is no longer there. And it just got me thinking, what could have been the reason for, and these are some of the people I looked up to, and for some they looked up to me, and then for some we are on the same level. But after a while, you can't find a number of them anymore. And then there's somebody on Facebook. When I look at this post, it's not a pastor, literally, probably will see this and know what I'm talking about. I'm like, how did this guy become a pastor? It's just so amazing. And then I asked myself, what could be the reason? How did they fall by the wayside? And I don't mean leave Christianity. A good number of them are still believers, right? Still go to church, will still make heaven. I mean, that's fervency. You understand what I mean? I'm not going to dwell so much on that. And some of the thoughts that came to my mind was probably the kind of parents they had. Believe it or not, your parents, the family you're from, has a large influence on your faith and the sustenance of your faith. You see them as examples. You don't get to worry about a lot of things, because for some of these people who, as it were, are no longer as excited about the things of God, is because they have to chase mammon. I mean, by mammon, I don't mean it. I mean, you have to survive. You have to pay your bills. University days, people are on fire for God, and then they leave university, get into the real world, and they realize they have to work 24 hours, 7 days a week. And so that begins to dwindle their fire for God. It affects everyone. Nobody's immune to it. So if you're not from a well-to-do family, there's a likelihood that after a while you begin to think more about survival than about getting people saved. It's just it goes without saying. And that's one of the reasons. Another reason could be because, I mean, at some point in your life, you have to choose. You have to make a stance for what you believe in. You have to choose between money and between God. You literally cannot serve two masters at the same time. Everybody had that temptation. I had that temptation, still having it every day. But for some reason, which I would, accredit credit to the grace of God, I'm more in love with Him than the other. And for some of these guys, when I think about it, I can clearly see that they chose what they chose, and that's a big deal, right? It's a big factor in continuing in the faith the way you ought to, the way you started. And it just got me sad a bit. And while I was sad, I was also saying, God, thank you for keeping me up to this very moment. For somebody to say, still preaching the gospel. And I don't even think I'm preaching the gospel. Like, this is just what is in my head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And like, this is just my whole identity. And I hope for everyone watching this video out there, there's still another 15 years to come, maybe 20 or even 30 years to come, or a lifetime, that the testimony you have now of your love and fervency for Jesus, in the next 20 years, it will still be there. Most likely, preferably, it will even be burning higher. It was Joshua and Caleb, one of them, that said, I am well and able to take over this land. I am strong today, the same way I was 40 years ago when we wanted to take over this land. I mean, that will be our testimonies. That will be what people will see about us, what people will talk about us. And I hope that this inspires you to just for a moment reflect, what was the last 15 years of your life like? What's the testimony that people will see concerning Jesus? Is it still consistent? If it's not, can it become better? I mean, take a moment of self-reflection, and yeah, I hope you take action out of this. Love the Lord more, go to church more, evangelize more. There's so many stories I'd like to say, but yeah, let me leave it at this. I hope this has caused a change in your mind. See you in the future.